In today's lesson, we are starting the pathogen unit. And for pathogens, that includes all sorts of different microorganisms, but we're first going to focus on their structure and reproduction methods. As we said, there's lots of different terms that can be used to describe pathogen, but by definition, pathogens are disease-causing agents. So these can be bacteria, viruses, or other microorganisms. But really, it's only 1% of all bacteria that are actually considered to be pathogens and considered to be harmful or disease-causing. So bacteria and viruses are often confused. So in this section, we're going to differentiate between the two of them in terms of structure, reproduction, and other characteristics. So now as we talk about bacteria, we can describe their characteristics and what makes them fit in this category or not. And bacteria are prokaryotic, unicellular organisms. If we look at bacteria in terms of structure, they are made of a cell wall that contains peptidoglycan. And if we look over here, you can see that this cell wall is our outside structure here surrounding its entire way around the bacterial cell. It also has a cell membrane, which we can also call the plasma membrane. And if you look here, it's just one little layer inside from the cell wall. Bacteria also contain cytoplasm, just like cells that we have, and that's the jelly-like substance floating in between. They have a nucleoid region, but what's different from us is that it has one circular DNA chromosome. And they also contain something that is called a plasmid, and these are these extra little circular structures of DNA that follow different rules in reproduction than our normal chromosomes do. Then we have ribosomes, and these are our little dots floating out here in our cells. Ribosomes are responsible for making proteins. They have some have a capsule on the outside, and we'll talk about later on this week what that capsule does for them, and that's this very external structure. And then they can have flagella or pili that can be used for movement. So the flagella is here, it's the big long tail, and then they have the pili, which sometimes are also called cilia, that are also used for movement. Bacteria have many different shapes, and they are often classified by which type of shape it is that they have. So we've listed here a few of the most common shapes. So starting with our coccus or cocci. So you can see here in our picture, these are the circular ones. And an example in real life would be streptococcus. So we often just shorten this to the front part of this word of strep. And so if you have strep throat, it's actually being caused by the streptococcus bacteria. Then our next example we have is bacillus or bacilli, and these are these little rod-shaped, or they kind of look like pills to me. And again, the example we have here in real life is E. coli. And then the last shape that we have is our little spirals over here. They're sometimes called spirali, also just kind of a preference on who you're talking to. And then we have the example as well in real life, that is Treptononia pallidum.